on that system. On that system, like it's never on engines that were that were designed for a certain amount of RAM, that were designed with I mean, like, you're putting things on there that's not supposed to happen. So I don't know. It's like, can you blame the developer? I mean, and especially when these games are being ported by basically third parties. They're not being ported by the original developers. They're taking the PS4 version, or maybe the PC. Well, it has the PS4 version. I doubt they would take the PC version, trying to convert that to Switch. So they're taking, like, or maybe the Xbox One version, and trying to port it down.
They're not doing anything like actually building on the Switch. They're just porting.
Yeah.
No one's building on the Switch except Nintendo. Why doesn't somebody build on the Switch? Okay,
because it doesn't make sense to.
No, it doesn't.
Because it doesn't make sense to.
Because it's easier to downgrade than to upgrade.
Yeah, because imagine they spend their time building something to make something look good on the Switch, to sell it on, what, 20 million consoles maybe? When you could build it on PS4, or hell, you could build on PC, and then downgrade it to PS4 and Xbox One and sell it on a combined 200 million consoles.
Yeah, that's right. And that's the thing that people aren't looking at. They're not focusing on the fact that no one's developing on the Switch. So
yeah, the Switch is not the lead platform for any developer except Nintendo first party.
Well, to me, that would say a whole lot. That would make my claim that the Switch is the greatest console of the year. That would make the claim that is false, completely false. But then yet again, people get away with saying that, like, this is the best console ever. And they've said it.
Yeah.
Switch is the best console ever.
I've actually gotten to a point where the best weapon in this thing is no longer is actually weaker than the current weapon I've got. Good for me. But yeah, it's like, it's so stupid. All I need to do is buy this thing. It's ridiculous.
It is. It's like you can't say that. You can't say that the Switch is the best console ever, and then, is anybody other than Nintendo developing on it? No, everybody's just porting stuff to it. Like, really? There's a problem there, I think.
Yeah.
With that type of thinking. There's a major problem there because, had it been like, okay, well, and you know what? Think about it. Has anybody built anything from the ground up on a recent Nintendo console? Like,
I mean, no.
What other third-party games that are exclusive to Wii or Wii U? Have there been any? Monster Hunter, maybe?
But those, I mean, but how many of those were actually, like, not ports of something?
Right, because Monster Hunter Tri was actually, it wasn't a port of the PS2 game, but that was actually like because Monster Hunter Tri, the first Tri, that was that built from the ground up? I think it was built on the Wii.
Yeah, which is part of its problem.
I don't know what. There was another game, but not a lot of people had. Like, I'm just trying to get out, like, these recent Nintendo consoles with the Wii.
Yeah, well, nothing recent. I mean, because nothing substantial. Because, what are they going to do? I mean, the smaller developers, I think, like, Grasshopper manufacturers, they're like, No More Heroes and stuff has been built for it. But they're not exactly pushing technology with those titles, regardless. Anyway, nothing really technological has been made for a Nintendo console that wasn't a first-party endeavor.
So when you look at the old school, like the N64 games like that, there were some games that were like built on that.
Yeah, back then. But like in the last few years, nothing.
Nothing.
So it's just. And there's not gonna be. because they keep making horrible hardware decisions, that preventative hardware decisions. Preventative. It's like you can't. It's like, you know, I mean, the engines just aren't supported. Like, it can't support. They had to go through a bunch of revisions and stuff just to get Unreal Engine 4 supported on the Switch, which is the only reason why Dragon Quest 11 can even be on the Switch. And up to now, it's still not out yet. Like, it comes. They're saying they haven't even given it a formal release date. They just keep saying this fall. So it's gonna come out sometime.
Well, during the Nintendo Direct, they showed Smash Brothers is gonna get like all the Dragon Quest characters.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, we gotta give them something, because they're like, yo, we can't get this game working on your system.
No.
I mean, look here. It's already at 900p native on PS4. What do you think it's gonna look like on the Switch? Like, what do you think? You know? So, and that's why they push so hard to get this the 16-bit mode into the game, because they're like, basically, we need a way that we can, you know, drop the resolution and turn this game into a 16-bit Super Nintendo game. And have the excuse, because like we can't do the visuals on the PS4 version anywhere close to what they look like there on this machine. Like, it's gonna be 720p native, hopefully. You know, they would hope to get 720p consistent. You know, clearly it'll probably be dynamic res, and then, you know, they switch to the 16-bit mode all the times. People are gonna be playing that gimmick.
Yep.
And they'll just be doing that.
Love that retro gimmick.
Yeah, they'll just be playing that gimmick, but it was really a way for them to have, like, here's a way for us to downgrade the visuals. I mean, it's still optional, but
isn't it like it's at any time you can switch it to that mode.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and they're going to be hoping on that just so the Switch don't blow up while you're playing that game.
They're going to be like, if your Switch gets too hot, switch it to the retro.
Yeah, switch to retro basically. And they're adding in a whole bunch of extra content and crap just to sweeten it, because there's no other reason.
Why can't the PS4 version have a download and have like
it can, but they won't say that it will, because then, you know, it totally just removes the point of buying it on another console, you know? The whole point of the Switch version is, oh, you can take it where you go, and we're giving you all this extra content. Which is, again, a slap in the face to literally everyone who bought the game on PC or PS4. Right. You know, and basically all the people who funded this port of Dragon Quest 11 by buying it first. Because if we didn't buy it first on the other consoles and the other systems, they would not be putting it on anything else.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yep.
And like, so as much as people are talking about, oh, you know, Final Fantasy VII Remake is gonna come to the Switch at some point, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, it's running Unreal Engine 4, but like, do you see how good that game looks? It's like, that ain't gonna run on no Switch. And not unless it's 10 discs. Are you with me? And why make a retro version? Then just play 7. It's like, just play the PS1 version. If you're gonna turn it retro, turn the remake into retro, it's ridiculous.
Isn't 7 coming out on Switch soon?
The PC port that PS4 got 2 years ago, yeah, I think so. I don't know if it's out already, or it might be coming out, but yeah. But yeah, again, that's the PC port that came out however long, like years and years ago, and then PS4 got it 2 years ago, I want to say, maybe more. No, because I think I was playing it around this. I think I was playing in 2016, so it might be 3 years ago. So it's like, you know, big whoop, you're playing a PS1 game, you know, in 2019. Like, but It's like, it's just ridiculous. And now these jokers gonna be playing the Witcher, the Switcher, looking like hot garbage.
Yeah. And some of these people, this is the first time they get to play The Witcher.
Exactly, and that's, I mean, you're gonna see it at at 540p.
I don't wanna buy a PS4 to play this garbage. It's gonna look like crap, and that's their opinion. Right?
Exactly. It's bad. It's bad. But you know, this is what they want. And that's the problem, they're sending bad messages. Telling developers, oh yeah, we want, hey, you remember when all we wanted was for games to look better? Well, now we don't want them to look good anymore.
I know. It's confusing the heck out of like all these developers. They don't know what they want. It's like, oh, we're giving them a retro version of Dragon Quest so they can buy it, so that we can mask the terribleness. Oh,
yeah.
Well, the game in 3D doesn't work? Okay, well, why don't you just play the retro version? It's the same game. You know they don't. You know they don't want to mention that crap. And then IGN's probably gonna drool all over that version because you know they like that. They love that like retro art.
Yeah,
nobody liked it. Nobody liked it. We all tolerated retro art when it came out.
Yeah, we had no choice because that was all there was. But like, I don't. The funny thing is, like, when we moved to 3D the first time on the PS1 era, Sega Saturn era, Dreamcast era, all that stuff, even PS2 era, N64, nobody was like, oh, I miss sprites. You know, but all of a sudden now, oh, sprites were better. It's like, it's literally causing these developers to have to go backwards. It was the same thing. It's the same thing that I didn't like about indie games back in like 2012. Everything was pixel art, and it was literally forcing everything to go back. You know, it's like oh, we made technological strides in visual fidelity. Oh, well, forget that. Let's go back to 1998. And I'm like,
I like pixel art like anyone else, but at the same time, just leave it where it's at. But leave it where it's supposed to be. And you're talking about like a retro game, but don't build a new game on it.
Yeah, don't take a new game and downgrade it. The demakes, you know, it was like, everyone was so enthralled. Oh, look, Final Fantasy 13 demake. Or, you know, God of War demake, you know, it's an 8-bit. Now I want to play it. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like...
Now I want to play it with frustrating controls.
Oh, here's the thing. You like retro? How about I demake your car back to 1878, a Ford Model T with no air conditioning, no radio, no automatic transmission, no anti-lock air brakes, and no seat belts and no airbags. But you like demakes, right?
How about a crank start?
Yeah.
People who like retro drive BMWs and have like smartphones. You probably don't even know what a payphone is.
Yeah, like, how'd you like to get an old rotary phone? The ones you had to wind up just to charge it. Like, you like that? Like,
the old Packer Bell.
Dang, this thing is not working out for me. I'm really losing money.
Well, speaking of that, I'm playing a retro game.
Dang. Well, I'm playing a slot machine in Dragon Quest XI, so... Yeah. To each his own, but... it's just so ridiculous. And here we are, Microsoft and Sony talking about, you know, hardware accelerated ray tracing in the next generation consoles. And what are we doing? We're taking The Witcher 3 and dropping it to 540p. It's like,
That's ridiculous.
it's like, are you really?
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
Like, are you for real? Ah. It's just so crazy. Nope. So yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what they want to do. We don't want, we don't want quality.
We would like to play.
We don't want quality.
You can thank them for all the retro stuff.
And oh! Did you? You probably didn't, but did you see the trailer for the for the Panzer Dragoon remake, quote unquote?
I didn't see it.
It's garbage looking.
Okay.
It looks like Grover threw up. And it's like, are you serious? And they're like, oh, well, when you compare it to the 240p that the Sega Saturn had it at, it's a big improvement. It's like, yeah, it's a big improvement, but it still looks like garbage.
Wait a minute, so all they did was like upscale it?
No, they have remade it. It's new assets and stuff, but they remade it on the Switch, and it looks like crap. I'm like, if this game did not have Panzer Dragoon attached to it by name, you would look at it and be like, this is a garbage piece of like $10 eShop trash, like, because it just looks bad. The quality of the assets look like mud mixed with baby throw up.
Jesus.
That's what it looks like. And I'm like, really? It's like you chose to remake a game with targeting Switch hardware. Like, I hope that it comes to something else where it might actually have a chance of reaching above 720p. But I guess nobody else wanted Panzer Dragoon remade. I guess.
Was this shown on Nintendo Direct?
I think so, yeah.
I probably missed it. Alright, they're showing... Okay...
Who is that? Oh, it's... Yeah, okay.
Ew. I mean, it looks like a new game, but it looks like it doesn't know what it wants to... It looks like it doesn't know what it wants to be. Like, is it cel-shaded? Is it...
Nah, it's not even cel-shaded. I mean... This looks like garbage. It's like... You wouldn't think that's a new game. I mean, it just looks like not good. Like, compare to... even other games that are on the Switch. And I'm like, yeah, but this is a game people are gonna be talking about, And then you got the other morons like Greg Miller and other cowards talking about, oh, I got to play some other stupid game on Stadia and it was great, it just makes me so proud, happy to have had my Founders Edition. I was like, you moron. It's like, yeah, you played a controlled demo at E3. You think it was gonna be bad? So, like, you idiots.
Goodness.
And ever since Stadia was announced, my YouTube has been given a little bit of trouble. Like, I mean, not like major problems, but it's just been like little hiccups here and there, where like the videos will, like, the audio continues, and the picture stops, and then it tries to catch itself back up. and weird stuff like that, and I'm like, eh. It's like it wasn't doing that before, but I'm like, I bet now that you're straining your system with all this streaming crap. And then who was it? Game Industry or Game Informer? Somebody put out an article about how my data plan per month is 10 gigs for the month, but it will take 9 gigs to stream Stadia for 1 hour.
Wow.
And it's like, yeah, it's like you do realize like it's like, oh yeah, stream 720p video. It's like, do you know what it is to do that for a gaming session? To sit down and stream a game for 2 hours, you know how much bandwidth that takes? And for people who have data caps, or you know, if you're on actual like mobile data, forget it. Forget about it. But streaming's the future, y'all. Streaming is the future. Where am I supposed to be going? Retrieve the ore from the battleground and hammer from Galapagos and take them to the forge in the volcano. Alright.
I see like there's just... Wow.
It's just so unfortunate. So unfortunate. Let me see, where am I going? Looks like it's set waypoints. I need to get out and then go all the way around. It's a long trip. I got there. Might be able to go back there, but even then I still gotta go around. Just trying to do some. Oh my. What's this cable?
I wonder why. Are you watching the comparison?
Uh-huh.
Of The Witcher 3 versus PS4 is like, why would they even do that? They know.
Well, because what else are you going to compare it to?
Nothing. Just don't compare it because...
No, you got to.
You know.
You got to. You got to compare it because, like, oh... Hold on a second. What is this? He sent it to me? Huh. You know, that will probably be never then. But yeah, it's like... You gotta compare it because that's the standard that most people are playing it on. You know? We expect 1080p. And I believe we should expect 1080p in 2019.
Sure, you know, at least 1080p should be like the minimum. But they call things like a miracle.
Yeah.
All is well that ends
Why
well.
is that a miracle? But yet somebody look. Think about this. Like, you know how many people get bullied and picked on because their systems are like slow?
Yeah.
And they run games like crappy. I remember back in the day. No, not even back in the day. This is like a couple of years ago. What's that game that came out for PC and also came out for PS4? And everybody was like, I play it only on PC, man, because I play it with like all specs and all that stuff all loaded up.
Well, that could be literally any game that also came out on PC, because they be like that.
There was one in particular that came out for both, and people were just saying that like, oh, why play it on PS4 when I could play it in 4K on PC?
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, that's fine. But then as soon as the Switch came along, everyone started changing their tune.
hardcore one for the good guys.
Oh, that app? You didn't tell me which.
Yeah, that
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's better than what she got, but I mean, if
I
you're,
mean, if
if
you're
you're
gonna
gonna be
spend
spending
99,
money,
700.
$700, yeah. But then you have to spend another $700 to get it cleared when you get here, if that's what you pay for
It's
it.
unlocked.
No, I mean, clear it when shipping.
No, I think she's trying to get it so that you can bring it.
Still.
Hey.
People always trying to get around what they should be doing. Now, what were you saying? Sorry.
No, I'm just saying that it's like now ever since the Switch came out, everyone has fallen in love with like. But it's only on the Switch. It's games that like would be downscaled on lower hardware.
Yeah. It's only okay there. Cause it's like, cause get a game that comes out. I mean, like, it just would not be acceptable on PS4 for anything to be at 720p. Like, it's just not.
Heck,
people would never buy it. And like, oh, this is ridiculous. I'm not paying $60 for that.
I thought recently people, and this is just recently, people were complaining about Watch Dogs and how they downgraded the graphics. Oh god.
Yeah, well, that was 6 years. That was 6 years ago.
I was. Dang, I was in like cryo sleep because it seems to me like that was yesterday.
Nah, yeah, that was 6 years ago.
Jesus. But think about it, like, it's like, oh shit, I was knocked off my bike. But think about it, it's like, yeah, 6 years ago, but those are the same people.
Yeah, they're the same people who want to see The Witcher 3, downgraded even further.
Victory is ours.
And they'll still pay full price for it. And it's like, it's so ridiculous. It's gonna be a 32 gigs. The internal memory of a brand new Switch is 27 gigs. So they're like, well, I don't know how they're gonna fit all of that onto one of those cars that Nintendo has. So they're like, well, it's gonna have to be like on the biggest, game cart they got, plus require a certain amount of download. That's basically gonna be the only game you can play.
That's disgusting. I think that is the most disgusting part of the Switch, is that it only has 32 gigabytes. How many 32 gigabytes of internal memory?
Yes, 32 gigs, and then only 27 is available because of the OS.
That is just disgusting.
I mean, like, they could have easily even just made it 64. It's like really. But no, Nintendo's just being as cheap as they possibly could, and they still charging $299 for it.
Oh shoot!
The same price as the PS4, with 500 gigs hard drive and a disc drive that you can actually watch movies on. You know that thing that people do?
Yep. But apparently nobody does it anymore.
That's what they want you to think. But if that's the case, why did they keep making discs? They wouldn't be making it if nobody was buying it.
True.
But they keep making discs. People are buying discs, man. People buy discs. And they buy movies on discs. Because how else would you stream it? Because you can't. None of those streaming apps are on the Switch. Like. So it's not like
people still buy Blu-ray, man.
Yeah, of course they do. Of course they do, and especially anyone who has a brain and realizes, hey, everything that I keep buying on Amazon or on iTunes or on wherever, whenever they decided to take that off, I don't have my movie anymore that I paid money for. Yeah, I'm gonna buy a disc. Because guess what? Most discs comes with a digital version anyway.
Right.
They got the 3-packs, the Blu-ray, the DVD, and a digital version. Some of them are like the 4K, the regular Blu-ray, and a digital version. So it's like, why But no. But the Switch has, you can't play nothing on the Switch but Switch games.
But didn't we recently get Netflix or something like that?
Yeah, like recently.
Why would you be watching Netflix on a Switch? It's like, tell me, you can watch it on your phone.
So, and what's funny is that supposedly everybody also has smart TVs, right? Which have these apps embedded in them anyway.
Right. Yeah, you know what? And the smart TVs aren't that expensive. I just bought one, and I have it for what, $150.
Did I do all right?
Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, like,
dirt cheap, and it has a Roku player embedded.
It's so silly. It's just everybody trying to sell you stuff for their own benefit, you know? Google Stadia's trying to make the hush his mouth, talking about, oh, you know, anyone who's like loves games, you know, they would embrace streaming and these services because it's such a better opportunity to play games. It's like, but like, at what cost? It's not. It's like everyone's like, oh, you know, we like Game Pass because I can pay $10 and play as many games as I want. It's like, yeah, but guess what? Look at the quality of the games that Xbox has to put out. You know, they take Ninja Theory, and then Ninja Theory has to make a game like Bleeding Edge, that's basically like lowbrow discount Apex Legends.
Right.
And they have to do that because why? Because they're gonna put that game on Game Pass as soon as it comes out. And basically, the whole idea between Game Pass is that if people subscribe to it for the entire year, then they'll pay us $120, which is 2 full-price games. Now, for Microsoft, that might make sense because they barely have first-party games to sell. But
exactly.
But the thing is,
the company that's bleeding.
But the idea is that you're selling a game for $10 as opposed to selling a game for $60. So you ain't making profit.
Right, they're thinking along the lines of like making profit on the second or third year, because then that's where they triple or double their money for each purchase.
Well, yeah, but that's only if they don't add more games. The more games you add to it, the more money you spend on developing a new game. It just so it doesn't take it doesn't take a mathematician to figure out that Game Pass is not a sustainable business model. I mean, it's already happened. Look at Movie Pass in the States. Like, I don't know if you remember Movie Pass.
Yeah, like, we talked about it.
Yeah, $10 a month, and you can watch any movie. You know, just use the card and go to AMC or whatever theater, and you get $10 a month and watch any movie, and it lasted for like 3 years, maybe 4, and then bankrupt.
Yeah, because they couldn't, like, people were abusing it. They were going, what, you can watch like two movies a month or something like that.
Yeah, well, eventually they had to start, you know, like breaking it down and changing it, because they're like, wait a minute, it's like people were using it, but they were using it more because it was basically selling at a loss, and people were using it for the big blockbuster movies. You know, like, it was originally meant for like the indie movies that would never have gotten seen. But but you know, oh, if I can go and see it for $10, you know, for $10 a month, and then I can go see whatever movie I want, it's cool. You know, and the idea was that, okay, for the price of one movie ticket, people might see 3 indie movies as opposed to seeing 1 or none, and it's better. But when they started using it to watch the blockbuster movies that thrive on multiple viewings, like the Avengers movies, the Marvel movies, the DC movies, the everythings, any big budget stuff.
Right.
You know, when people normally would go and see those movies 2, 3, 4 times, and they're not because they got Movie Pass and they're seeing it for free, they started losing money. And then they went bankrupt. I'm like, Movie Pass is in the same pass as in the name as Game Pass. How do you think this is going to be sustainable? And why is no one talking about this?
Right. It's
A
probably the same
$60? Well, no, I mean,
Probably
it's
the same
Microsoft, but because Movie Pass was like its own thing, but it's like it's obvious. Game Pass is not sustainable. You cannot have AAA quality games with what
For $10.
150, $200 million budgets, and you're telling them, and you're saying, I'll give you access to this game for an entire year for.
Well, think about this. Maybe they're no longer going to have those budgets.
Well, exactly, because that's what
the
people are
plan.
talking about. But then that means that the quality of games overall will drop.
It will drop. Maybe that's the plan all along. Maybe the next
who
Gears of
wants
War,
that?
maybe the next. Well, I don't know. Maybe the next Gears of War isn't going to be that great as far as production value.
Maybe because it's coming to Game Pass at launch, but like that was basically them selling at a loss. You know, I mean, but I just don't understand what the point of that was. You know, just to have something because like going forward, you can't keep. What they're gonna? Is Halo Infinite gonna be on Game Pass? You know, when that comes out for the new console. So does that make sense?
No.
But every other game that they've put out has been on Game Pass from day one since they introduced it. But I mean, I wouldn't be mad at them because how are you gonna sell a game? How are you gonna sell a game for $10? So I ain't mad. It's like, yeah, I know you can't do that.
We did it, darlings!
If that's the case, why don't you just add your daggone hardware into Game Pass too? For a Game Pass Ultimate subscription, you can get the console for $10 as well. It's like, why not?
A loaner Xbox?
Yeah, why not? You know?
That's something that could have worked in the 90s, but not now. Not now. Like some type of deal where they give you the console and you just got to return it after you're done with your subscription.
Yeah, but see, the thing about rentals is they don't make sense unless you got long term.
Yeah.
Hardware rentals don't make no sense unless it's long term. Like to the point where you make your money back easy. But you know. Oh, ooh. Hello, beautiful. Oh yeah, I got something. Unbridled blade, jigger. Yeah, it's so beyond ridiculous. So, but some developers anyway, like David Jaffe, only 1,400 is not much.
Yeah, David Jaffe hasn't released anything noteworthy, and Drawn to Death is pretty much it.
No, it's been offline for like a year, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
because the people the jerks who played on it were complete tools, man. Like these people were cheating. Because I remember I used to play. Every now and then I would play it. I mean, and it was kind of interesting, but it got boring because the graphics got boring. I don't know how to explain it. It just got boring. The graphics just got boring, man.
Dang, I believe it. I mean, but it's just like, yeah, I mean, like, ain't nobody really taking David Jaffe that seriously. But he's on Twitter all talking about streaming and these services are better. You know, it's better for gamers. No, it's not. I mean, it's not overall. It's not when you think about the fact that it will definitely cause a decrease in quality. Yeah, it's like, how you gonna get The Last of Us? Ow, or Serena. How you gonna get The Last of Us? How you gonna get even? Let's change the tactics and let Serena focus on healing. You know, you're not gonna get those kind of quality games anymore when you're selling games for $10. Sorry, like it just doesn't work.
I don't know why they're always trying to do these nonsensical ideas. I don't know what the desperation is in the industry. I mean, I don't see them being hard up for money, like especially
Microsoft.
Big companies.
I don't know about that.
You think Microsoft is hard up for money on that
Xbox.
Triumph was never
Xbox.
in
Yeah,
doubt.
I mean,
Xbox department?
yeah, remember, these were the jokers who somehow thought that they could sell the inferior Xbox One for $100 more than the PS4. Then they ended up selling half of the PS4's numbers. I mean, look at what they had to do. They had to drop Kinect. They had to drop Kinect completely, drop that price. But then because they were being morons, they went ahead and instead of doing a proper mid-gen refresh, they went and made and developed the Xbox One X, which should have almost been a next-gen console itself.
Yeah.
But it still did nothing for their sales. But like that development was expensive. To producing a brand new console with specs that are like double the original console's specs, and then it still didn't sell well. Then they've been spending. All they've been doing is spending money. They bought Ninja Theory. They bought the company who did We Happy Few. They bought Turn 10 or no, the Coalition. They bought Double Fine. They bought Mahjong, the Minecraft people. You know, like those they've been putting out money. They've been putting out money. So yeah, their operating expenses are probably at a loss, and probably have been for quite some time. So yeah, I'm not surprised that Microsoft is like, yeah, we need that money because, and then on top of that, they went with their moronic sales. They went with their moronic sales and decided to do Game Pass, which means they're selling at a loss.
Anything to try to get good in the public eye again.
Exactly. And they keep producing. Someone made this point. He's like, look, Microsoft is getting ready to move away from quality games. He's like, why do you think they keep making these brand new controllers and talking about? It's like they spent time talking about a controller. It's like when was the last time that Sony ever spent time at E3 talking about a controller, other than when they were first showing the controller for the console?
How ironic, the company that said we were going to get rid of the controller.
Exactly, with Kinect. Yeah, now they're talking about revising controllers all the time. But he's like,
how ironic.
He's like, they're focusing on controllers and crap because they can sell that on PC. It doesn't have to be an Xbox thing, and it's got nothing to do with the games.
Yep.
So they're like, but that's what they're focused on. They're not focused on making great games anymore, other than Halo, Gears, and Forza. So it's like their whole focus is off from what it should be, and so therefore they're okay with yeah, we're just gonna yeah. We're just gonna make, some smaller games and sell it cheap. And, we don't care because we don't intend to make no set of money off of games. But then how are you gonna sell a console without games? So,
for real. That doesn't make sense.
I mean, even Nintendo knows that. Nintendo knows oh, you can't sell a console without games.
True.
Problem is they keep hamstringing themselves technologically, so that they, because I mean, you can't leave it to first party all the time. You can't. I mean, you can, but they're gonna just have major lulls where there's basically no games coming out, which the Switch has had. Because you need the third parties to fill that in, but when your console is too underpowered to run most third party engines in 2019, then you end up getting horrific ports of games like Saints Row the Third, and then downgraded ports of Assassin's Creed 3, which they have. It's the worst version, from what Digital Foundry says. But they have to accept those things, because otherwise there would be no games coming out until their first party studios can put something else out. And they front loaded everything for the Switch in the first year or so with the first party studios by having a lot of games come out, which wasn't a bad idea, but it's just like, oh yeah, well now what? Because the development cycle is at a point where they put out games, but the next games are going to come out for another 2 years, 3 maybe.
Right.
But at least the Switch got these stupid people who seem to love it regardless, even though they know it's not good. But again, the Switch is about to be left out in the cold next year, because next gen is starting. And none of Ubisoft and the rest of these people are not going to be, holding off and keeping their development studios working on the Switch when PS5 and the Xbox are out.
Right.
So basically, the Switch had 2017, 2018, 2019. It might.
Oh no.
It might get 2020. They might get 2020. But like, basically, they'll have 3 years to run before they are completely obsolete. And we're already in the third year. And then it's like, oh, that's it, you're done, because everybody else is moving on. But Xbox ain't gonna be too much of a threat, because they ain't got no games.
For real.
And I mean, the studios they bought aren't gonna be able to make anything good for another 2 years, because they just don't have the time. And by that point, I don't know what Sony's going to be doing. But honestly, I think what Sony needs to do is, as much as they say they're not going to change it, but they need to crack down on some of their studios who take too damn long to make games. I'm looking specifically at Media Molecule and Polyphony Digital. Media Molecule has taken the entire generation to put out Dreams, and it's still in early access.
Exactly.
And Polyphony Digital has put out one game this generation, which is Gran Turismo Sport.
That's it.
I mean, like, we're not saying you gotta pump out games every year, but come on, like,
Do something.
Do something more than just one game a generation.
I mean, look at Gorilla.
Yeah,
Gorilla went from making look what happened to Gorilla. Gorilla was like pumping games out left and right, like first-person shooters.
Well, not pumping games out, but I mean, they were putting them out at a steady pace.
Did I do it right?
Steady
They
pace.
did.
Not like
They did Killzone 2 and 3 on PS3.
Yeah, and then they did the PS3 Killzone. Then they did the PS4 Killzone, and in my opinion, the best first-person handheld shooter.
Oh, you mean on Vita?
On Vita, well, that's what I'm saying. The best first-person handheld shooter came out on Vita by them.
Technically, it wasn't really them, though.
Well,
I mean, it was kind of them, but it was Guerrilla Cambridge. So it was another studio, but I mean, like, I guess some of their people worked on it, but...
Well, yeah, some of their people had to work on it. I mean, it was a project that was going on. I mean, and it was coming from them. It was Guerrilla Cambridge, but it was Guerrilla. different studio. Excuse me. So different studio, but I mean different location, same name.
Kind of.
But,
Well,
I mean, in my
the
opinion,
thing is,
that was
Cambridge is in England, and Grill is
I know.
in the Netherlands.
Netherlands.
But yeah, but like, the point is that like yeah, they put out 2 games a generation at least.
But look what happened. Look what happened once they started making games like Horizon. Like, as soon as they got on that like action adventure third person type game, it's like, okay, they haven't even talked about the next game.
I think I mean I don't know, but I imagine that PS5 is going to launch, or at least in the launch window, similar to how Second Son was with Horizon's sequel. Like I generally think that's the Horizon sequel is going to be shown at the PS5 reveal, and it's going to come out within 4 or 5 months of that console's release. And I think they plan that. And they've had about 3 years to make the next one, but the engine was already done this time, so.
Right.
So, you know, I think that's what's happening there. And they know, but like, this is the thing, it's like, okay, you make 2 games, but those 2 games were very popular and very successful. Shadowfall was a launch title. Was a day and date, same day as you owning the console, you could play Shadowfall launch title. And then Horizon was, you know, arguably one of the best games of this generation. So, but when all you put out is dreams and it hasn't really, you know, it's hard, it's difficult, to the point that they gave Little Big Planet 3 to a different developer. Because they're like, yo, we gotta get something out of this. We gotta get some money out of this thing. But, so, I don't know, like, I don't think they kind of need to crack down and be like, yo, y'all can't be spending all generation. Like, look what happened with Famitsu Ueda and The Last Guardian. That game took all PS3. And then finally came out 3 years into the PS4's life cycle. You know, they were promised an exclusive, and it took so long that it didn't matter.
Oh, it took so long that nobody cared when it came out.
Yeah, pretty much nobody cared. And on top of that, it came out at a bad time. So they're not gonna want to fund a project like that where, you know, they're just not gonna make their money back. They're not Microsoft.
Yep. That's the thing. That's the problem. I don't know what they're gonna do though. I mean, unless they sell the Founders Pack. I mean, the Founders Pack. What am I talking about? They sell the like the what is
The great Silvando grows even
this is
greater.
the beta or whatever. And then when the full game comes out, they're probably going to charge you again.
Well, the idea is that if you buy it in early access, you're supposed to get the full game when it launches for no additional cost.
I don't know.
That's what they said. So they can't really go back on that, I don't think.
Yeah, they also said there was no filler in Naruto.
They said no more filler. So I don't know. It's just, you know, and I mean, it's still the right idea for it to come out now on the PS4 while the PS4 has as many sales as it does. But, you know, it's going to be a funny thing. But, like, you know, the idea is that The Last of Us is gonna sell so much that it's not gonna make a difference. But you know, but still,
Last of Us will sell a lot of copies. They're gonna run out of plastic to make the discs.
Yeah. And then there's gonna just be like between that and then there's Death Stranding. There is Death Stranding. Death Stranding has to sell a lot though because Sony took a big risk on that by taking in Kojima to do that. And obviously Microsoft would have loved to have had him instead. But am I landlocked?
Oh, I gotta get to sleep, so I got one more day of work tomorrow.
I wish it was just one more day.
I know just one more, but this... Oh, that's got me. This whole crap with the... Well, like, today, like, at work, they wanted me to do this project that they're doing with the phone systems, but it's like you have me calling all day, like, or not calling, but rather you have me taking calls all day. Like all day I'm taking calls back to back to back to back to back. It's been so busy these past couple, like, I could say this past couple months. Like every day has been a Monday. It's like people just keep calling and calling and calling and calling and calling. I need my fridge picked up. I need my fridge picked up. Like, everybody seems to be buying a new refrigerator. Like everybody in Chicagoland is buying a new refrigerator.
I guess
they're all doing it all at once. Yeah. And so what they buy one new one, and then they used to have, like, some people have like 2 refrigerators in their houses, sometimes up to 5. I'm like, why would you have so many refrigerators?
How much food are they buying?
I don't know. There's this guy who he called in. He was some Indian guy, and he was like, yeah, I got like 5 refrigerators in my kitchen, and I'm like, why? He's like, he wanted to get rid of 4.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah, there's a limit. There's a limit to how many you can get every year per your utility that goes to your house. So like each customer can get 2 units a year, and we pay them $100 for 2 units. So like, this guy like just I need 4 picked up. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do 4. I can only do 2 a year. And then I looked at his account, like, and he had multiple units picked up already the past few years.
Oh, this is guy like, what is he doing? Is it a fridge farm?
I know, right? It's a freaking puppy farm. It's like a puppy mill, but for fridges. It's like a fridge mill. Like he's breeding refrigerators. And it's like, it's like refrigerator. It's crazy. So like at work, they want me to do this. My boss said, yeah, you know, it'll be good. You can put it on your resume and stuff. And I'll make you work like at least 15 hours off the phones, so that you can work on this project for the phone system, so that we can get the phone system ready. But she comes at me at like 4:35 when I'm exhausted from like calls all day. And then it's like, well, okay, I need you to do this. And I'm like, I forgot what the heck you wanted me to do. I don't know what to do anymore with this project. Because the last time you had me work on it was 2 weeks ago. And I did an hour of work for that project. I don't know. I told her I forgot everything. I'm exhausted. I'm taking all these calls. They're like, well, we have to take you off the project. And I'm like, fine. I don't care. Take me off because it's bullcrap. It's bullcrap. We have to take you off. I'm like, all right, take me off. I want to see you taking all these calls all day, because all day she's laughing and playing with people in the back. And it's like, I want to see you take all these calls, and then you tell me that you're not going to be exhausted come almost 4:30, 5 o'clock, after like working from 8 in the morning, taking calls back to back to back. It's like, come on. She did when she first started, because like I started first, and then they hired her as the new manager. She got one phone call. She picked up one phone call from a customer to schedule a unit, and it took her 20 minutes to do it. Ever since then, she never touched the phone ever again. And occasionally, she'll pick up a phone call when she thinks that it's like too busy and we might be breaching.
Yeah, these people, man.
She don't know what hard work is, man. She don't know. And she has she has an Arise LLC as well at home.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, you know how they work.
For real. I'm surprised they're still around.
Yeah, they are.
I did not mean to use
Rogers, though.
Dang, I know, right?
Rogers pulled out because of all the drama. Partly due to me, but...
Well.
It couldn't have just been us. Like, it couldn't have just been us, but, but, like, yeah, I'm sure it was other things.
But the, the thing with this, the charge of discrimination, it's just, man, I for sure thought that it was done. Because I'm like, alright, well, we got the negotiations, they're gonna start, we're gonna start with the whole settlement issues, because that's what my lawyer brought up, that's what they brought up, they're like, okay, well,